Okay, about to get started here soon. All right. I think we are all ready. All right, let's get this going. Hey, here we are. We made it. January 13th, 2026 webinar. Let's get this thing going. We're going to be talking about AI search in 2026. So let me do some introduction here. Hi, everyone. Seth Ringel here, founder of Foundational Marketing Hub. If you're new to this channel, we work specifically with foundation repair and basement waterproofing companies, helping you turn your online presence into steady booked inspections, not just clicks. And before we dive in, do me a quick favor. If you're watching this live or catching the replay, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any trainings that we got coming up here in 2026. All right, let's set the stage for what we're going to talk about. Homeowners aren't just scrolling through blue links anymore. More and more of them are asking AI questions like, is foundation crack serious? Or how urgent is a bowing wall? Or who's a trustworthy company near me that can fix a wet basement? And instead of giving them a long list of websites, AI gives them an answer, sometimes with only one or two recommendations for companies. So this webinar is about how to be one of those companies, and we're going to talk about 4 ideas you're going to see a lot in 2026. One is AI SEO, making your site useful for both human and AI answers. The next is GEO, generative engine optimization, or how to structure your content so AI can confidently reuse it. Next would be AEO, which is answer engine optimization. This is turning your knowledge into clear Q&A models that these models just really love to pull from. The next is LLMO, which means large language model optimization. This is just a fancy way of saying, how do we make sure these models actually trust and recommend your business locally? And we're going to look at what's changing, how it affects foundation repair and basement waterproofing contractors specifically, and where AI fits into your day-to-day marketing, from the pages on your site to the messages you send leads. So let's jump right in. So before we get into tactics, I want to show you why this even matters, because a few years ago, if a homeowner searched foundation crack repair near me, this is what they saw. On the left, you got the old world, a page full of blue links. People would click on one, hit the back button, click on another. They'd compare a few sites, maybe look at maps, then finally decide who they'd call. You basically had multiple chances to get in front of them. On the right, you got more and more of what your homeowners are actually seeing right now. It's an AI answer box that tries to do all the work for them. It explains the problem, it lists the key points, and sometimes it even highlights one or two companies right in the answer. In that experience, a whole lot of old search to click, to compare, to that whole process just seems to disappear. And there are fewer and fewer clicks, and a lot more people who just read AI answers and just act on it. Here's the scary part and the opportunity. You can have a decent website. You can even show up somewhere on page 1. But if AI answers don't even see you, they won't even mention you as a strong source, and you will never get mentioned, which means fewer calls, fewer inspections, and more of your ideal jobs going to whoever the AI decides to feature in that box. So our goal in this training is simple. It's to move you from being invisible in that box and become one of the names AI can confidently recommend. Everything we're going to talk about in these next few slides is going to be AI SEO, GEO, AEO, and LLMO. And these are all just different angles of the same idea. I know it's a lot of acronyms, but bear with me here. It's just all different angles gearing towards the same thing. It's making your business the obvious, trusted answer when homeowners ask AI for help. And later, we'll get into the AI prompt book, and I'll show you how to use AI tools that actually build these kind of pages and content that can feed them these answers without adding a ton of work on your plate. But for now, just keep this picture in mind. The old world ranks for links. The new world appears in the AI answers. So hopefully that shift kind of makes sense so far. And to make this even easier for you guys to implement, if you stay with me until the end, you'll get access to our AI prompt playbook, 30 days to 2x your foundation repair and basement waterproofing leads. It's a set of copy and paste prompts that you can just use on your website, your ads, your follow-up, social posts, blogs, and more. It's built for home service businesses just like yours. So by the end of this session, you know exactly what you need to change on your site and in your content so you can just stay visible with AI answers first, and how to use these AI tools to do all that heavy lifting instead of adding more work to your already busy schedule. So let's jump right in. Okay. Before we go any further, we got to decode some acronyms here because you're going to hear these a lot in 2026, and unfortunately, they all just have different names. There's really no way of getting around this, but we're going to go over it all. So don't worry about memorizing these letters. Just pay attention to the idea behind each one of these. So let's start with box 1 up here on the top left. Think of AI SEO as search engine optimization for the AI era. It's still about showing up in Google, but it's not just a list of links anymore. It's about giving AI the kind of content it needs to feel confident to use your site and its answers. GEO is generative engine optimization. GEO is simply making your content easy for AI to reuse. Generative engines take pieces of information from different sites and they just kind of stitch them together into one big answer. And if your content is cleared, it's structured, and it is in depth, and it makes it really easy for AI to grab it, you're going to be showcased first. If it's too thin or messy, they're going to skip you. The third box is AEO, which is answer engine optimization. AEO is turning your expertise into a Q&A form. Things like if you ask a question, what is a foundation crack emergency? And then you have the answer. Here are 3 signs it might be serious. This format, it makes it incredibly easy for AI to just lift your answers and drop them into that answer box. And then that fourth box is LLMO, which means large language model optimization. LLMO is really just an online reputation in the eyes of AI. It's about making sure that the models see you as a real, trusted local expert, consistent business information, strong recent reviews, mention on other local sites, and helpful, non-hype content will actually help you go a long way. If all of these acronyms kind of blur together, that's okay, because the real point is the same goal. When a homeowner asks AI for advice, a recommendation in your city, if it knows who you are and it feels good about saying your name, it will. And in the next few slides, we're going to break down how each one of these with concrete examples using cracks or wet basements and real pages you could actually have on your site so that when the AI actually looks for you, it finds your business. All right, let's jump into the next slide. So in 2026, what are some key shifts here? Now that we've kind of translated some of these acronyms, let's talk about what this is actually changing in 2026 and why it matters for you as a foundation repair or basement waterproofing contractor. The first big shift, that AI is becoming the default experience. In more and more searches, the AI answer is what shows up first. Homeowners don't always realize they're even using AI. They just see a helpful box at the top of the page and they just assume it's right. The second shift is the classic clicks that people are used to getting are getting squeezed. When using the old method, the whole game was get to position 1 and then you'll get the most traffic. In the new world, you can technically be on page 1, but if the AI answer already explains the problem and has showed a couple of options, a lot of people never even scroll down. The third shift is what these systems reward. Thin copy and paste pages that just swap out a city name are losing power. What wins now is depth and structure, clear explanations, real examples, local context, and content that is broken into sections so both humans and AI can follow it easy. The better your content answers for real homeowner questions, the more useful it is to AI. The fourth shift is kind of just seeing how people search. Homeowners aren't just typing foundation repair anymore. They're actually asking full questions like, how much does foundation repair usually cost in St. Louis, the city I'm from? Or water coming in the walls where it meets the floor. Is this a foundation issue or just drainage? Or basement leaking after heavy rain. Who can come out this week near me? or best foundation repair company near me with good reviews. These are high intent questions. They're asked by people who already have a problem and who are worried about it and are pretty close to picking a contractor. And if AI is not picking your business and having you show up for questions like these, you're missing out on some of the best leads in your market. So to sum it up, AI is becoming the front door of clicks on regular listings, and all that are shrinking where the AI answers actually appear, where the depth and clarity beat quick tricks. And the more of your ideal customers they're all starting to trust AI to help them decide who to call. In the rest of this training, we're going to kind of learn about the reality of it instead of just fighting with it. We're going to look at how to build these pages, how to do the Q&As, and build trust signals so that when AI is building those answers for homeowners in your city, it will have every reason to pull you and mention you by name in your company. Okay, let's go to the next slide here. So we're going to talk a little bit about some pain points for foundation repair and basement waterproofing SEO. Now that we kind of looked about how search is changing, let's talk about why foundation repair and basement waterproofing companies can feel this shift more than most. First, there's competition. You're not up just against other local contractors. You're also competing against big national brands, lead aggregators, directory sites. These actually have huge sites with lots of backlinks and a whole team working on SEO. And if your site is small and generic, it's easy for both Google and AI to overlook you in favor of the bigger players. Second, there's an issue with the generic content. A lot of contractor sites are built around city swap pages, foundation repair, and city A, city B, city C, with almost the exact same text. And that used to be pretty good. You could actually pass by with that as good enough, but an AI system is trying to decide who actually knows what they're talking about, and those pages don't look like expertise. They look like boilerplate content, and that's exactly the thing AI is learning to ignore. Third is weak trust signals. AI models pay attention to the same thing homeowners do: recent reviews, a healthy Google business profile, consistent business information, and mentions on other local sites. If your profile is half filled and your reviews are old, or your name and address and phone number don't match across the web, it makes it really hard for AI to treat you as a solid, reliable option. The fourth is the new world. AI often only shows a few options. When a homeowner asks, who's a reputable foundation repair company near me, the AI doesn't want a list of 20 names. It wants to highlight a small handful that it feels really confident about. If you're not one of those, it doesn't even matter how good you are in the field. It just simply doesn't get seen. The good news is, though, none of these issues are permanent. You don't have to become a tech company to fix all these. You already know more about foundation and water problems than AI ever will. We just need to package that knowledge in a way that both homeowners and the AI can clearly understand and trust. And in the next section, we're going to look at what AI SEO actually looks like for contractors and how to turn your expertise into the kind of pages and content that AI wants to use in its answers. Okay. So what does all this even look like when it hits the ground for foundation repair and basement waterproofing companies? Let's make it concrete here. Imagine a homeowner in your city who notices a diagonal crack across the basement window after a few weeks of heavy rain. They're worried, but instead of typing in foundation repair near me, they open an AI tool and ask, diagonal crack above my basement window after heavy rain. Is this serious? AI SEO is about making sure that the AI has high quality material from your site to answer that question. That means your website has a page or a section that explains different types of cracks, shows photos, and talks about when to worry and offers clear next steps. It mentions your city or region so the AI knows that you're a relevant local expert and not just some generic article that is just kind of pulled from nowhere. Another example would be a homeowner might ask, who is a reputable foundation repair in, we'll use St. Louis again. And if all models see it as a thin website with just a couple of generic pages, no real answers, and outdated info, it has no strong reason to choose you. With strong AI SEO, you're giving AI a reason to connect crack problems in this area with your company as the smart choice to call. In simple terms, AI SEO in your niche means building pages that do three things really well. They answer real homeowner questions in plain language. They show your experience with local conditions, be it soil, weather, common problems that they find in your area. Then they make it obvious of what the next step is to help someone that needs this kind of help, like booking an estimate or booking an inspection or requesting for someone to come out there. You're not trying to game the algorithm here. You're trying to become the clearest, most trusted source of the kind of problems you fix every day. And when you do that, AI systems have a very easy job. When someone in your city asks for help with a crack, a leak, a bowing wall, they can confidently pull from your content and, more importantly, put your name in front of the homeowner. Next, we'll kind of zoom in on GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, and talk about how to structure these pages so AI can quickly understand and stitch them together into its answers. Okay, now let's talk about GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, in a in a simple contractor language that's not too confusing for anyone. A generative engine is just the AI behind search that builds an answer by stitching together pieces of information from different places. If your content is shallow or scattered or hard to follow, you're very hard to kind of just stitch in. For GEO, you want to think in terms of pillar content with supporting content. A pillar page might be something like a complete guide to foundation cracks in St. Louis, or basement help for homeowners or a wet basement help for homeowners in St. Louis, like something like that. One of those pages, they'll walk you through the causes, warning signs, inspection steps, repair options, photos, next steps, and then it creates supporting pages that go deeper into specific issues like the bowing walls or sinking slabs or hydrostatic pressure, sump pumps, or drainage problems. The key is depth and structure. Use clear headings, break the page into sections, and answer specific questions inside each section. For example, what causes this problem in our area, and how can a homeowner spot early warning signs? What are the common repair options, and what's realistic to expect? Add in photos with real captions, short checklists, simple explanations. And when AI tools crawl this, they don't just see random paragraphs, they see a well organized source of truth on that specific topic. This makes it much easier for them to grab short pieces of your content and reuse them in their answer. GEO isn't about getting fancy with writing articles with no plan behind it. It's about taking what you already explain to homeowners every week on the job, cracks, leaks, shifting soil, water problems, and laying it out so AI can follow the story from problem to cause to risk to solution to next steps, you being the next step. The clearer the path is, the more likely the AI engine is going to treat your content as a reliable block in its answers. So if AI SEO is about AI giving valuable information to pull from, GEO is about organizing that value so it's easy to pull. And in the next slide, we're going to go a little bit deeper on AEO, which is answer engine optimization, and where to turn that knowledge into clear Q&As that models that can directly lift your information and put it into their answer boxes. Okay, next slide here. So let's talk about AEO, answer engine optimization, which is really just a fancy name for saying making your knowledge answer ready on both AI and search. Think about the questions that you hear from homeowners all the time. Things like, is this crack dangerous? How long does a foundation repair take? How much does waterproofing actually cost in St. Louis? Those are the exact kind of questions people are now asking AI directly. With AEO, the goal is to take those questions and format them clearly into your website so that both humans and AI can spot them instantly. That means adding sections like question, when is a foundation crack an emergency? Answer, here are 3 signs that it might be serious. And then you start with a short, direct answer in plain language, 1 or 2 sentences that get the point across. Then underneath that, you can go deeper with more explanation, photos, and context for the people who want a little more detail. On the technical side, these Q&As can also be marked up behind the scenes so that search engines and AI models understand this is a question, This is an answer. That markup isn't something a homeowner ever really sees, but it makes it much easier for an AI system to lift your answer and drop it into an AI box when someone asks that similar question. The big idea here is that your website shouldn't hide your best answers in long paragraphs. AEO is about pulling those answers in a very clear, labeled Q&A that match the way people and AI actually ask for help. And when you do this well, a homeowner might ask, when does a foundation crack become an emergency? And instead of getting some generic random article, the AI can grab a concise answer, show it in the box, and then connect that answer back to your company as the expert they should call. So if AI SEO is about AI valuable content, GEO is about organizing it, and AEO is about shaping that content into a direct, ready-to-use answer. And in the next, I will look into the LLMO, which is the large language model optimization, which is about making sure that these AI systems actually trust you enough to recommend your business by name. Okay, a lot of acronyms here, I know. Hopefully this is all coming across. So let's talk about LLMO, large language model optimization. That's a mouthful, and it's in plain language is really about one thing. It's about earning enough trust that AI feels good recommending your business by name. When a homeowner asks, who's a reputable foundation repair company near me, the AI is quietly asking itself, if I recommend this company, is the user likely to have a good experience? LLMO is about stacking the odds in your favor. And there are a few signals you can actually influence that really matter here. First would be consistency. Your business name, address, phone number, and service. And that's what we usually call the NAP or NAP. Should match everywhere. Your website, your Google business profile, directories, social profiles. If the model sees 3 different names or old addresses, it gets confused and less confident. Second would be reviews and proof. Recent detailed reviews tell both humans and AI that you're active, you're doing quality work, and you're taking care of the customers. Photos, case studies, and testimonials that show real problems and real fixes, that this all helps AI build a picture of a trustworthy local expert. Third would be local mentions. Are you listed on any local directories? Have you been mentioned on the Chamber of Commerce, local blogs, or industry associations? These outside mentions act like votes of confidence that an AI system can see you from the outside looking in. Fourth is helpful content. If your site is nothing but "we're the best, call now" on every single page, that's a red flag. Models are much more likely to trust a company that explains problems and solutions clearly. For example, breaking down types of cracks, explaining what basement causes, or walking through what to expect during a repair. You don't need to be perfect on every front, but the more your online presence looks like a real, established, helpful local business, the easier it is for AI to treat you like a safe recommendation when someone calls in your city and asks, who should I call? So if AI SEO, GEO, and AEO are all about the content on your site, LLMO is about your reputation, your digital footprint around the web. And you get those pieces working together, and it'll give you large language models every reason to recognize you and recommend you. Next, let's bring this all down to earth with a concrete example scenario so you can kind of see how all these pieces play out. And real homeowners ask AI about cracks and end up booking an inspection with contractors like you. So let's walk through a specific example kind of slowly, because this is where it really starts to click. Imagine your company, it creates a page. It's called "Is This Foundation Crack Serious? A Homeowner's Guide in St. Louis." On the one page, you show real photos, common crack types you actually see in your market. Explain in simple language which cracks are usually major concerns and which are warning signs. You include a short list like, if you see these 3 things, call a professional. You add a Q&A section of questions such as, when should I worry about a crack? And will my home collapse from one crack? These with clear, calm answers. Now picture a homeowner just sitting back on their couch, staring at a diagonal crack in their basement window. It's been raining all week and they're getting a little nervous. Instead of just typing "foundation repair near me," they're asking AI on the phone, "Digital crack above my basement window after heavy rain. Should I be worried?" The AI goes out and looks for content that explains this clearly. It finds your page. Because your page is well organized, has direct Q to A's, has real photos, and mentions your city, the AI has everything it needs to give a clear explanation based on your content and suggest your company as a smart choice to come inspect the problem. From the homeowner's perspective, they asked a question, got a helpful answer, and then it named a local contractor who clearly understands the issue. They're much more likely to call, click, or book an inspection with you because they're already the expert. You're already the expert in their mind before you even spoke to them. That's AI SEO and AEO working together. These aren't just abstract ideas, but these are concrete path from worried homeowner from a crack to a booked inspection in your calendar. In the next example, we'll zoom out a little bit and take a single page and look how that can be applied, that same kind of thinking, to things like wet basements in St. Louis, for example, using GEO and LLMO over a long-term period. Okay, so let's look at a longer-term play here, where you're not just answering one question, but you're owning an entire problem space in your market, like wet basements, for instance. Imagine you're in a city where wet basements are a constant headache, and instead of having just one generic basement waterproofing page, you decide to build a wet basement help hub or something like that on your website. There's one main page that explains most common issues in your area, typical repair options, rough cost ranges, and what happens if the problem is ignored. Then you build supporting pages around that hub. One page focuses on drain issues and grading. One page focuses on sump pumps and backup systems. One page focuses on wall seepage and cracks. And one page is on seasonal issues like heavy spring rain or snow melting. Over time, you keep these pages updated. You add new photos from real jobs, short video clips where you explain what happened and how you fixed it, and fresh FAQs based off of the questions homeowners just keep asking you. You also continue to earn reviews from customers whose basements you've already dried out. And what happens behind the scenes is AI systems start recognizing a pattern here. Whenever people in your city ask questions like, why is my basement wet after every storm? Or how do I stop water from coming through in my basement wall? Your site keeps showing up with details and helpful answers. Combined with your reviews and local mentions, the model begins to treat you as the wet basement expert in that area. So when someone finally asks an AI, how do I stop water in my basement in St. Louis? The AI isn't guessing anymore. It's pulling from a network of signals that all point to you. Deep, structured content, that's GEO, plus a strong, trusted digital footprint around the web, which is LLMO. And the end result is a compounding visibility. The more you show up with useful answers, the more likely these models learn to rely on you and are more often giving you the recommendation when people ask about that problem. And in the next part of the training, we'll kind of zoom out from these examples and take a look at the core tools and tech stacks that can help you build this while maintaining the kind of AI-ready presence without turning into a full-time SEO or a full-time tech person like me. Okay, so you might be thinking at this point, like, this all sounds good, but not an SEO or tech person, and that's totally normal. The good news is you don't have to be. And you just need a simple set of tools that make this easier. And let's just keep this really straightforward and think in terms of 3 buckets. First, the content helpers. These tools help you plan and improve your pages so you cover the right topics. They can show you related questions homeowners are asking, gaps you might have on your page, or sections you could add to give a little more depth. You still bring that field of expertise. The tools just help you lay it out in a way that both humans and AI recognize. Second would be the structure helpers. These are tools that help behind the scenes with pieces like things like FAQ markup, your business information, service details, and review markup. You don't need to handwrite any code here. These tools just help you generate what you need. Or if you have a web person, you can have them paste this kind of stuff into your site. This structure is what helps the search engines and the AI to read and understand your pages. Third is visibility tracking. These tools help you see where you're showing up now, which pages are gaining traction, and where you can improve for certain opportunities. Some of these tools are starting to include early signs of AI answer boxes and AI modes, but even the basic rankings and traffic info will tell you if your efforts are actually moving the needle. You don't need a giant stack of software here. If you choose one content helper, one structure helper, and one visibility tool, you're in a great position to start making sure that your site has more AI friendly signals without drowning in all the tech. Think of it as like your truck. You don't carry every tool you own to a job, but you bring the right tools for the right day. And this is the same idea. A lean, focused set of tools that support your strategy instead of distracting from it. And that's all you really need to get this thing moving. Next is we're going to take everything that we've covered, the AI SEO, the GEO, the AEO, the LLMO, and these tools, and we're going to turn it into a 4-step implementation plan that you can follow over the next 30 days to actually get this thing moving for your business. Okay, let's turn everything we talked about into a simple action plan that you can follow over the next 30 days. Think about this as like a short project, not a total rebuild of your business here. Step 1, let's choose some money topics. Start by picking 1 or 2 high value problems that you want to be known for. Things like foundation crack repair in St. Louis or basement waterproofing in St. Louis. These are services that lead to your best jobs. Don't try to fix your whole site at once. Focus on the pages that are tied to the work that matters the most. Step 2, build and upgrade your answers pages. Take those topics and either create an updated page so they become true answer pages. Add clear headings, real job photos, Q&A sections, simple explanation of causes, risks, repair options, and next steps. If someone reads only that page, they should be well informed enough to know exactly what to do next if they need help. The third is strengthen your trust signals. In parallel, tighten up those trust pieces for AI and homeowners. They both look at these. Ask for a few extra fresh reviews. Update your Google business profile. Fix any old addresses or phone numbers in the directories, and make sure your business info is consistent across all platforms. That's the kind of support the LMO side. It tells the models that you're real, you're active local expert, and you're not just a website. The fourth thing we want to do is check how you show up and refine. Once those pages and signals are in place, search for some of these questions and look up these topics yourself. Look at regular Google results and the AI answers. Ask things like, is this crack serious? Or wet basement help in St. Louis? And notice what's missing on your pages and compare it to what's showing up. And if there are answers that you didn't answer, or are there competitors doing something else that's a little bit better? Or use the feedback that you find from all of this for your next round of improvements. If you just keep repeating the cycle of picking a topic, build a strong answer page, boost signals of trust, and then refine based off what you're already seeing, eventually you're going to start gradually building a site that the AI systems can rely on and homeowners feel good about calling when they need your help. In the next slide, we're going to just kind of walk through this process together of an AI search strategy call and kind of map out that plan tailored specific for your market and your service. So this is basically what everyone's waiting for right here. This is the good stuff. Before we actually move into Q&A, I want to make sure that we leave this webinar with concrete steps, not just a bunch of ideas floating around in your head. And you got really 2 strong actions you can take from here. First is obvious. Grab your free copy of the AI prompt playbook, 30 days to 2 extra foundation repair and basement waterproofing leads. This is your implementation shortcut. Scan that QR code right there on the screen. It's the big one. It says free download right underneath it. And you can use this or the link in the description or in chat. Inside, you're going to just find a plug and play prompt system you can use for website content, FAQs, emails, follow-ups, social posts, and more, all written for foundation repair and basement waterproofing businesses. That means you can start creating that kind of deep, helpful content that we've been talking about today without staring at a blank page and trying to be a copywriter. Second is book a strategy session with our team. If you want to turn this and into something that you saw that was really useful for you, we can map out a plan for your actual business and what that would look like. That's exactly what we do on these sessions. On that call, we look at your current site, your market, your top money projects, and then we outline a practical plan to improve your visibility and lead flow over the next 60 days. And you can scan that QR code on that link right there, and it'll take you straight to a booking page, and on that page you can pick a time that works best for you. And as we transition from the Q&A side, you can go ahead and download that playbook, lock in that strategy session. Those 2 moves alone will put you miles ahead of where you were before you actually started this webinar. So let's go into the last slide here. Okay, that basically wraps it up, and that wraps up our training portion of today's session. If you're watching this live, we'll kind of just open it up for questions now if anybody has any. You can drop anything if you're curious about, if it's about AI search or your website or even where to start. And if you're catching this as a replay later on, go ahead and just drop it in the comments. I read those comments and I actually reply to them. I do, me, myself, nobody else. So you're just not left guessing these questions on your own. And while you're thinking about questions, let me remind you how to keep the momentum going from here. Again, first, make sure you download the AI Prompt Playbook, 30 days to 2x your foundation repair and basement waterproofing leads. This isn't just a PDF to just skim through. It's a toolbox of prompts that you can hand AI so it can help you write better service pages, FAQs, emails, follow-ups, social posts, all without having to be a copywriter or a marketing expert. It's designed to save you time and to help you talk about your services in a way that attracts the right kind of jobs. Second is to book a strategy session. This is where we take everything we talked about today and apply it to your business, your market, your website, your services. We'll look at where you are now, where you want to go, and outline a realistic path to get you there without guessing or trying random tactics. And you'll see the booking link and the QR code on the screen. Just scan that and it'll take you right there. Third is register for next month's live webinar. Today was a big picture view of how AI is changing the game, but next month we're going to zoom in on SEO in the age of AI, how to structure your actual service pages so they can rank in Google and also give AI exactly what it needs to feel confident recommending you. Think of it like a step-by-step page building side of everything that we cover today. So as we wrap it all up here, here's what I encourage you to do. Pick up the playbook, lock in that strategy session, and save a spot for next month's training. Those 3 things alone are going to put you ahead of every contractor in your area. And since we're on YouTube, don't forget, if you got any value from this, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified when we drop new trainings just like this. And if you're watching the replay, drop a comment and let me know one thing you're planning on implementing from today. Thanks again for hanging out with me and investing in your marketing. I'm Seth Rangel from Foundational Marketing Hub, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.